There's a story about Tom Cruise. Have you heard this? That he came to, I can't remember who, some comedy person who's like a normal human being, right? Like, but famous, but not like Tom Cruise famous.
Right.
So Tom Cruise like connected with that person. It'd make it a better story if I remember who it was. But it was somebody at like your level, or like or like a Mark Duplass, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and
I don't know who Mark Duplass is.
well, he's a guy at your level. No, he's no, he's
Do you know who he is?
the Duplass
Jamie
brothers.
knows who everybody is. I don't know who the Duplass brothers are.
They made the show Togetherness on HBO. My point isn't about the Duplass brothers. Is like they were just like semi-famous, not like inhuman.
Okay, what did Tom Cruise say?
So Tom Cruise got himself. Yeah,
That's husband
she's
and
so
wife type
horny
shit.
she wants to get to the fucking.
I get it.
So he got invited to a Super Bowl party at this person's house, right? Like imagine if Tom Cruise was coming to your house for the Super
Bowl party.
Super Bowl party. He was
Imagine
like, oh,
asking Tom Cruise, and he says yes. And you're like, honey, he said yes. What do we do? Shit.
right. And imagine being Tom Cruise and be like, I think I will be among the humans today. So Tom Cruise apparently shows up with a brand new, like clearly fresh football that his assistant, like, you know, he's like tossing like a literal brand new football in the air.
Right.
And they're all talking about marriage at some point in the day. And he goes, you know what the best part of being married is though, right? Fucking your wife. Am I right? You just fuck your wife. And everybody's like felt like tumbleweeds roll through the party.
He's sort of like a robot, huh?
Like an alien visiting us.
Yeah.
He must be amazing to hang out with. I would love to hang out with him. Fucking your wife, right? Ooh.
I mean, when you're that famous, your work ethic, it's like you just devote everything to that, I think. Because like I have my agents were like, they know that the agents who are Tom Cruise agents, they said Tom Cruise always gets back within an hour when we send a script. Because I'll like keep a script for like 3 weeks, and then by the time I read it, the part's been cast.
He reads it in an hour?
They said Tom Cruise will read a script in an hour and get back to them and either like it or not like it. Like he's just like on the ball. He's like he's trying to win.
Yeah.
He's won.
And it's an inhuman instinct, because our human instinct is to just atrophy. In a way. I mean, you have to kind of fight it, but easy to be lazy and to procrastinate.
It's definitely easy to be lazy, but it's not. If you're going to be Tom Cruise, you really have to be on the ball. There's no other way. He doesn't just
full-time job.
But that's not just what's going on.
No,
there's this
some
weird alien sort of behavior patterns that we don't recognize as being normal. Like when he jumped up on Oprah's couch, it's like, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, and everybody's like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like a person. No, it's like a person who doesn't understand French, but you're speaking French to a French person. You're saying all the right words, but you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
It seems like every choice he makes outside of acting is based on what he's assuming normal human beings think is the normal behavior.
Right.
So he goes, ooh, love is when you jump on a couch and go, I love her, which is informed by movies, really, right? Like that's more movie-like, right? That's like John Cusack and say anything like, oh, that's what love looks like. It's not, you know, or telling a bunch of the fellas, you know, oh, we're going to have sex talk with the fellas. Oh, so I like to fuck my wife, huh? The friction of her vagina makes me just splooge, huh? Right, guys? And everybody's like, backing
Everyone's
out
like, we're sick of fucking our wives.
Never. I just don't relate to that joke that you made.
Aww.
Sweet. That's so sweet. Yeah, what a fucking strange guy. He might be one of the strangest guys of all time. I wish he would just like come clean. Well, like one day just sit down and just be like, give him some ecstasy and have him just talk about who he is. Like, I don't even know who the fuck I am. I mean, I've been in Scientology for so long. I fucked like 13 guys last year. 13? I'm always worried they're going to tell.
I'm always worried they're going to tell.
Well, he did Chris Hardwick's podcast, right?
He did?
He did a one-on-one interview.
He did? I haven't listened to that.
Yeah.
Recently?
I wish you could get him on here because you get in, but I don't think you could pierce that impenetrable layer. I think he would be fake with you too.
But even if he's fake, you find out if he's fake.
You find some stuff.
You still pierce.
He was telling Chris like, oh, I love movies. You know, I'm passionate about movies, and Chris goes, oh yeah, like what are some of your favorite movies? This is how politically like constructed he is. He goes, yeah, just movies, all movies. Like he was such a political being. He couldn't even.
But all
They're
movies
all
are the same.
There's
no difference.
Biggest movie star couldn't pick 3 movies that have inspired
because
him.
he didn't want to pick like, you know, a Spielberg, a Bruckheimer, and a blah blah blah, because then he'd piss off Coppola and Scorsese, and you know, I mean, it's all a construct.
God, I want to meet him.
Yeah.
I can't believe he did Chris's. That's so cool.
You should have him on the show. You could get him. I think I got faith you could get him.
I've had this guy on, Ron Miscavige, who's David Miscavige's dad.
Oh, wow.
Who's
Oh,
the
so you can't have
head
him
of
on.
Scientology. And I had Leah Remini on.
Yeah,
You
you're
had
done.
Leah Remini on?
Yeah, and we talked for 3 hours about how crazy her life in Scientology was. And
You're a classic SP. There's no way you're getting Tom.
I'm a suppressive person. Although I'm not. I'm just misunderstood.
I gotta say though, the more I learn about the Catholic faith and all these like kid fuckers keep coming out, the more I'm like, that's the worst one.
Did you see the new one?
Keepers?
The new
that Australian
the new
guy?
arrests. There's
The Australian, yeah.
8,000 cases of child molesting that they just uncovered.
I mean, let's just shut down that religion.
Was it Catholic child molestation? All
Crazy.
8,000
Well, priests
was.
are Catholics.
No, I'm not doing a bit. But
Yeah.
all 8,000 of it was connected to the church.
Jamie will find it. It was just some. I mean, I didn't even read it because I looked at the headline, and at first thought was duh, and second thought was ugh, I just can't.
I mean, it's so much worse than like making someone believe they can get acting work. Like whatever Scientology does. Like the Catholic religion is like they're fucking little girls and boys and like permanently ruining their lives,
Yeah.
making them have like terrible flashbacks, making them have like wide chunks of memory that they just don't remember, then they do remember, and it's like it's just the worst thing you can do. And having
you're
like
Catholic.
sexual problems. I'm not Catholic. I'm
Or you-
Jewish now.
Well,
Right.
you know, the Pope, the last Pope, Ratzinger, that guy, one of the things that one of the reasons why he had to step down was because they found out that he was one of the guys that used to move people around. He was one of the guys when someone get caught molesting children, he would move them to a new precinct or wherever the fuck they would. What do you call it?
That's what takes
New
your
church.
breath away. We live
Yeah.
actually right next to a former rehabilitation center for wayward priests on our street in LA.
And I was like, I always thought, wayward priests. Like, I wonder what that means. And then after we saw that movie Spotlight,
Yeah.
we looked it up, and that's exactly where they were housing. It was one of the places they were housing the molesters.
Spotlight makes this really interesting point about the church, which is that the commonly held sort of folk belief about the Catholic Church is that when you take away someone's ability to have sex, you will concentrate their sex drive and pervert it, and you'll become a child molester. And what Spotlight, the movie, sort of point that it makes is it's the other way around. Is that basically when you're a child molester, you go to the church because you know they'll give you a haven. They'll cover
I don't
for
think
you.
that's true though. Like, it is hard to become a priest. You have to like study scripture for. I mean, how long
You
is
think
seminary
it's easy
school?
to molest a child? You got to groom them. You got to hang out. You know what I mean? But
I
seriously,
just don't know how true that is.
So Ratzinger moved a guy that went on to molest 100 deaf kids
I saw
hear
this
about
Wait,
that?
why
documentary.
deaf
yeah.
kids?
because they couldn't talk about it. There would be
They can sign.
yeah, but no one's going to listen to them. It's not like they can just start talking. You know what I mean? It's like it's a way. He was working with deaf kids, like deaf orphans.
Well, it's not that nobody would
Monster.
listen to a deaf person. It's that this is how scams work
But it's
too.
one step removed.
Exactly. It's one more. What you want.
A little easier.
What you want as a predator is the most vulnerable person that you can be
Right.
predatory towards.
Like
It's
in the documentary Keepers, it wasn't until this girl came to the priest and said, I actually have been molested. He was like, oh, you have you? And then he started molesting her. But he
right.
waited for her to come into, it
he
was in
found
confession.
found that she was weak, and
So
then
she was weak, and then that's who he picked. So it's like,
I remember these Nigerian. Speaking
that's
of
psychotic.
it's insane, yeah, but that's what they want. The child molester loves the weak and vulnerable, because if they go to a strong, confident child who they know will just be like, if you touch me, I'll tell my fucking dad, and he'll
fucking
kill you.
stab
That's why I
Yeah.
wasn't molested.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like, that girl's got a big mouth.
Also, you.
Do not touch
Also,
her.
though, I've seen your baby pictures. You weren't a hot kid.
I was.
but isn't it-
and I was always trying to, yeah.
Isn't
You're
it always? But it's very much always boys, right?
No,
it's very
No,
rarely
you gotta
girls.
watch the Keepers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's girls and boys. It's like who.
I've only seen documentaries on boys.
But the boys thing is weird. But I do believe there's a math to like suppressing someone's sexuality, and then it's just gonna come out in these other ways.
Well, I think that also monsters orientation is spread equally across monsters.
Sexual orientation, yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah,
I
of
think.
course.
I don't even know.
Why
Are you
don't they
even
just let
gay if you're a
priests-
child molester that likes little boys? Is that even gay? That seems like a third thing. Like just
Right, yeah.
you're not even in a sexual zone anymore. Now you're in a pathology zone.
But since the cases are there's just so many cases. Like maybe we should just let priests get married, or something needs
100%.
to change.
Well, they used to be able to, but they were rock stars. The problem was back in the days, like in during the Lutheran days when Martin Luther was around, priests controlled everything. I mean, they fucked everybody's wives. The
Really?
Pope had wives and children. Popes had wives, they had children, they had money, they had armies. The Roman Catholic Pope controlled armies. You know, like they controlled troops. Like it was a totally different scene. And then somewhere along the line, they were fucking so many women. They were like, hey, here's a new rule. If you're going to be a priest, you can't fuck any chicks. And then just the whole thing went haywire.
Does anybody know why that happened? Why the changeover happened?
Because they were rock stars. Because they were banging everybody.
No, I'm saying why they made
Yes.
them not rock. Okay, because it was they were too irresponsible.
This is what I've read. What I've read is that there was a real concern amongst people that were, you know, under the tutelage of these priests that these guys were out of control. They were just banging everybody. Find out what was the reason.
And that's why they made them not able.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's why they made them
interesting.
celibate.
I wonder what
Totally
year
makes
do you
sense.
think that is?
It wasn't that long ago. I think it was like 1,000 years ago. It might have been less.
That's so interesting.
I think
so
it was
that
less
wasn't
than 1,000 years ago because I know that during the Genghis Khan era, the Pope still had armies, and I think I think they were still allowed to be married and have children.
Oh, and I
then,
bet
too.
they were using their religious status to abuse their power and
Probably. Well, probably women would like fall for them too. Like
Yeah.
there was no like think about it. If there's no musicians, there's no comedians, there's no
Right.
actors.
Right.
Who are the hoes going to go to? The hoes are going to go straight to the priest.
They go to the Jesters, though. They had comics back then, but it was to do with like a floppy hat.
Yeah, but they were like cruise ship comics. Like
Yeah.
they couldn't get out of line at all. They got killed.
they were still rock stars. They were just like had white hair and
It's like,
played
what's
the
the
piano.
deal with the latrine that you have to shit in? What is the deal with Cornish game hen?
The white hair play the piano that was later. That was like
Oh,
the
you're saying this
Renaissance.
is
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
This is like a dude plucking a lute,
Yeah, I
right?
would like to find out. Yeah, probably right. A harp.
I want to like have a timeline of
What was the
There
year?
is this idea that the itinerant singer that would come to town and like pluck the lute and tell like the tale was always fucking everybody
Of
everywhere
course.
he went through
That's
town.
got to be who
I'm
who
sure.
we all came from.
It was like Robert Plant. We came from the Jesters.